What if the most powerful, most revered, and most terrifying artifact in human history wasn't lost to the sands of time, but was actually located by a top-secret government program? A program that didn't use satellites or ground-penetrating radar or even traditional archaeology. Instead, they used something far more extraordinary: the human mind. Psychics. For centuries, the Ark of the Covenant, the golden chest said to house the 10 Commandments and carry the very presence of God, has remained one of humanity's most enduring mysteries. Its power, its disappearance, its very existence have fueled countless legends and quests. But what if the greatest quest of all wasn't by adventurers like Indiana Jones, but by intelligence agents operating in the shadows of the Cold War? Today, we delve into a series of astonishing declassified documents from the Central Intelligence Agency, files that reveal a clandestine project born from the paranoia of the Cold War that took an audacious, almost unbelievable detour, a psychic hunt for the Ark of the Covenant. And what they claim to find will challenge everything you thought you knew about this legendary relic. Prepare to enter a world where intelligence meets the paranormal, where secrets are unburied, and where the most sacred object on Earth might just have been pinpointed by a mind's eye. To understand the gravity of this declassified revelation, we must first understand the object of their pursuit: the Ark of the Covenant. For the ancient Israelites, it was more than just a sacred box. It was the earthly throne of God, a direct conduit to the divine, crafted from acacia wood, overlaid with pure gold, and topped with 2 cherubim whose wings overshadowed a golden mercy seat. It was meticulously designed according to God's own instructions to Moses on Mount Sinai. The Ark was the spiritual and military heart of the Israelite nation. It led them across the Jordan River, parting its waters. It preceded them in battle, causing the walls of Jericho to crumble at its presence. It struck down enemies, brought plagues upon those who dared to profane it, and even caused the Philistine idol Dagon to repeatedly fall before it in worship. Its power was not merely symbolic, it was terrifyingly literal. Touching it without proper authorization meant instant death, as exemplified by Uzzah, who merely reached out to steady it and was struck down on the spot. For centuries, the Ark resided within the Holy of Holies in Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem, the holiest place on earth, accessible only to the high priest once a year. It was the pulsating heart of Israelite faith. But then, it vanished. After the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem in 586 BC and the subsequent destruction of the First Temple, the Ark is simply gone from historical and biblical records. Its fate remains one of the greatest archaeological and theological riddles. Was it captured by the Babylonians, hidden away for safekeeping, destroyed? For over 2.5 millennia, the answer has eluded us. Fast forward to the mid-20th century. The world is locked in the ideological struggle of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union are engaged in a desperate arms race, a space race, and a technological race. But beneath the surface, another, more esoteric race was unfolding: the psychic race. Reports from behind the Iron Curtain suggested that the Soviets were pouring vast resources into paranormal research, particularly into concepts like extrasensory perception, telekinesis, and remote viewing. The idea was simple. If an enemy could spy on your secrets or even influence your leaders with their minds alone, it constituted a terrifying new form of warfare. Terrified of falling behind, the United States, primarily through the CIA and the Defense Intelligence Agency, launched its own highly classified programs. What began as Project Stargate in the early 1970s, later evolving into Sunstreak, Grill Flame, and others, sought to determine the practical applications and dangers of psychic phenomena. The core technique they explored was remote viewing, a purported ability to describe a distant or hidden target without the use of normal senses. Subjects, or remote viewers, would be given coordinates or a target name, then describe what they perceived through their minds, often sketching details. For over 2 decades, these programs consumed millions of taxpayer dollars, engaging some of the most gifted and controversial psychic individuals of the era. They were tasked with everything from locating downed aircraft to monitoring Soviet military bases to even peering into secret underground facilities. But among the myriad of targets they explored, one stands out as truly astonishing. An ancient enigma amidst the modern-day spy games, the Ark of the Covenant. Within the vast trove of declassified CIA documents, specifically those related to the Project Sunstreak files, a fascinating trail emerges. Multiple reports detail remote viewing sessions specifically targeting the Ark of the Covenant. Imagine the scene: a remote viewer, perhaps in a sterile room miles away, given a target, not a coordinates, but a concept: the Ark of the Covenant. One particular session documented in a declassified report is chilling in its specificity. The remote viewer was tasked with locating the Ark. Their perception, as recorded in the official transcripts, was vivid. They described a large rectangular gold object, undeniably matching descriptions of the Ark. But crucially, they went beyond the object itself. They saw its location. The reports indicate the remote viewer pinpointed a location near Mount Sinai. They described the Ark being buried underground in a protective vault, possibly beneath the ruins of an ancient square structure or temple. One report even went so far as to suggest a strong dark energy emanating from the area, hinting at the Ark's famed power or protective mechanisms. The details given were startlingly precise. Specific measurements, the presence of certain geological features, even the nature of the rock formations surrounding the hidden vault. It wasn't vague generalities, it was an attempt at topographical precision perceived by the mind. Another declassified account from a different remote viewer, while perhaps less detailed, corroborated key elements. They too described the Ark as being deeply buried, in a secure, man-made chamber, implying a deliberate concealment rather than a natural loss. The consistency across different viewers, trained independently, was something the program managers often highlighted as evidence of remote viewing's potential. If two different psychics operating independently describe similar specific details about a hidden object, it certainly raises eyebrows. Now, before we rush to declare the Ark's location found, it's crucial to inject a dose of skepticism. The remote viewing programs, despite their intriguing reports, were ultimately deemed unreliable by the scientific community. Critics point to issues like subconscious cueing, where viewers might pick up subtle hints, or cold reading, where general descriptions can be interpreted as specific hits. The overall lack of repeatable, statistically significant results led to the programs being defunded and officially shut down in the mid-1990s. The official conclusion was that remote viewing was not reliable for intelligence gathering. So, what are we to make of these declassified reports concerning the Ark? Are they simply artifacts of a desperate Cold War experiment, riddled with wishful thinking and self-deception? Or do they contain a tantalizing kernel of truth buried within the government's secret archives? If these psychic perceptions were even partially accurate, it opens up a profound new chapter in the Ark's story. Why haven't archaeologists acted on this information? The answer is complex. Firstly, remote viewing is not considered a scientifically valid method for archaeological reconnaissance. No reputable excavation would begin based solely on psychic claims. Secondly, the geopolitical realities of searching for the Ark in such a sensitive region are immense. Mount Sinai itself is a deeply sacred and often contested area, making large-scale, unapproved archaeological digs practically impossible. Furthermore, even if the information was compelling, the CIA's primary objective was intelligence gathering, not religious archaeology. The fact that the Ark was located by their psychics may have been noted, but it wasn't necessarily a priority for a physical recovery operation. The very act of declassifying these documents, however, forces us to confront the audacious scope of the government's Cold War ambitions and the enduring power of ancient mysteries to captivate even the most hardened intelligence agencies. The Ark of the Covenant remains elusive. Its power, its legend, its ultimate fate continue to fuel scholarly debate, religious devotion, and countless treasure hunts. But thanks to these astonishing declassified CIA documents, we now know that even the most secretive corners of government have been drawn into the ancient enigma. They tried to find it with their minds. And what they claimed to see? Well, that's a secret that the sands of time, and perhaps the depths of the human psyche, are still waiting to fully reveal. What do you believe? Do these declassified reports hold the key to finding the Ark of the Covenant? Or are they merely a fascinating, albeit flawed footnote in the history of paranormal experimentation? Share your theories in the comments below.